The Smartphone Prophecy: A Tale of How Technology Can Connect and Divide. Part 2. The trouble began with a message. Just one message. It arrived early on a quiet Sunday morning when the village was still stretching awake. Roosters crowed. Smoke curled slowly from cooking fires. The smell of yam porridge drifted through the air. Most people were preparing for church. But somewhere in the village, a phone vibrated. Then another. And another. Within minutes, dozens of phones lit up across Ajaniku. The message spread through a group chat called Ajaniku Community Forum. It had been created months earlier so villagers could easily share announcements, farming advice, and news about upcoming events. At first, the group had been very helpful. But like many things connected to the internet, it slowly changed. People began forwarding jokes, videos, rumors from other towns, arguments, and sometimes things that were not true. On that Sunday morning, the message that appeared seemed urgent. It read, "Be careful. A group of strangers has been stealing goats in nearby villages. They may already be in Ajaniku. Watch your animals and report any suspicious person immediately." Beneath the message was a blurry photograph of 3 unfamiliar men standing beside a pickup truck. Within seconds, replies began appearing. Is this true? Who sent this? Where was this photo taken? But before anyone could verify the information, the message had already traveled far beyond the group chat. People began forwarding it to family members, neighbors, friends in nearby villages. Fear spreads faster than facts. And smartphones are excellent at spreading fear. At the edge of the village, a man named Kola sat outside his small house drinking tea. Kola was a quiet farmer who had lived in Ajaniku his entire life. He owned several goats and 2 small cows. They were his pride. When his phone buzzed, he picked it up slowly. He read the message. Then he read it again. His eyes narrowed. "Goat thieves," he muttered. He looked toward the small wooden fence where his animals grazed peacefully. His neighbor, Musa, walked past just then. "Good morning, Kola," Musa said cheerfully. But Kola barely responded. "Have you seen this message?" he asked, holding up his phone. Musa leaned closer. Within seconds, his smile faded. They say the thieves may already be here." The 2 men stood quietly for a moment. Then Musa said something that would prove dangerous. "Maybe we should keep an eye on strangers?" Kola nodded. "That would be wise." But neither man asked the most important question. Was the message even true? By midday, the rumor had spread through almost the entire village. People whispered about it near the market. Children repeated the story while playing in the dust. Even the church gathering became distracted. Several villagers checked their phones during the sermon. Outside, conversations grew tense. "Did you hear about the thieves?" "Yes. They say they're already nearby. I heard they stole 10 goats in the next town. I heard they have knives." With every retelling, the story changed. And with every change, the fear grew. Meanwhile, Bobaton sat beneath the large mango tree, watching the villagers hurry past. Something about the air felt wrong. Too tense. Too restless. He stopped a young woman walking quickly by. "My daughter," he said gently, "why does everyone look so worried today?" The woman showed him her phone. "Boba, haven't you heard?" She explained the message about the goat thieves. Bobaton listened quietly. When she finished, he asked a simple question. "Who confirmed this information?" The woman blinked. I'm not sure." "Did anyone speak to the nearby village?" She shook her head. "Did anyone see these thieves with their own eyes?" Again, she shook her head. Bobaton sighed deeply. "Then this is not news," he said. It is only a rumor traveling quickly. But the woman looked uncertain. It might still be true. Perhaps, Bobaton said. But truth must be tested before it becomes fear. Unfortunately, the village was already far beyond testing. The rumor had taken on a life of its own. Later that afternoon, 3 men arrived in Ajaniko. They were traders from another town, traveling through the countryside to sell farming tools. Their pickup truck rode slowly along the village road. Dust rose behind the tires. Inside the market square, several villagers noticed the vehicle. One man whispered, "Look. Strangers." Another villager squinted at the truck. Then his eyes widened. "Wait." He pulled out his phone. Opened the message. Looked at the blurry photo again. The shapes looked similar. The truck looked similar. And in moments like that, similarity becomes certainty. "That's them," someone shouted. "The goat thieves." Suddenly the peaceful afternoon exploded with noise. Villagers began gathering. Men stepped into the road. Women pulled children aside. The truck slowed, confused by the crowd. The traders inside looked nervous. "What's happening?" one of them asked. But the villagers were already shouting. "Stop the truck. Get down. Show your bags." Fear had become anger. And anger was growing quickly. Back beneath the mango tree, Bobaton heard the shouting. He stood slowly, leaning on his walking stick. "Trouble," he murmured. When he reached the market square, he saw the crowd surrounding the truck. The 3 traders stood beside it, looking frightened. "They're the thieves," someone shouted. But Bobaton raised his voice. "Wait." The crowd hesitated. He stepped forward slowly. "Has anyone here actually seen these men steal anything?" Silence. "Has anyone spoken to them?" More silence. The traders looked hopeful. One of them spoke nervously. "We are not thieves," he said. "We are tool sellers." He opened the back of the truck. Inside were shovels, hoes, farming equipment. Nothing else. The crowd shifted uncomfortably. But fear does not disappear easily once it has grown. Then one young man spoke up angrily. "They could still be lying." Others nodded. Suspicion still lingered. Bobaton lifted his walking stick slightly. "This is the danger I warned about," he said calmly. "When messages travel faster than wisdom." He looked around the crowd. People began believing shadows. The villagers fell silent. Slowly, the tension began to fade. But the damage had already begun. Trust, once shaken, is not easily repaired. And the smartphones in their pockets still held thousands of messages waiting to be believed. Bobaton looked across the village and whispered quietly, "The prophecy is only halfway fulfilled." Because the same device that had nearly turned neighbor against stranger would soon show the villager something else entirely. Something powerful. Something hopeful. If only they were wise enough to see it. See you in the next episode. Thanks for staying tuned. Watch out for the next episode. Follow us on all our social media, Instagram at input_media, Facebook at loadedwmugantate, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Turn on the notification button to get alerts for the next episode. Thanks.